All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from, where are we? The Rock Cave. And who do we have here? Mr. Paul Chabot. Hello, Paul Chabot.
Hello, sir. Welcome, Cavers.
Welcome to the 900th club. There's some pretty pissed off cavers out there, right there, but you live down the street, so you know what I mean.
They can't stop.
You can't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Welcome back. We've been talking about this for a little while. You messaged me like a month ago, maybe even
2 months ago.
2 months ago, and said, "Dude,
I screwed it up." But anyway.
That's right, dude. We got to do this. I want to do this," and I was like, "That's perfect." So here we are. We find ourselves here now, finally. And what are we here to talk about?
We are here to talk about the 20th anniversary of Green Day's American Idiot.
Nice.
Actually was released September 25th. And I said, we got to do this. It's coming out the October 25th. But actually what I read incorrect was that October 25th, which is today, they are releasing a new box set, I guess you'd call it, but a new release and, you know, new copies of songs on Spotify and all kind of good stuff. So check that out today.
The 20th anniversary mega huge box set, which is people are doing these days, and it comes with all kinds of stuff like you're saying, but it's got, you know, posters and extras and whatever else. And
a rare box that you won't be getting, I don't believe.
No, I did not order that one. That's correct. Maybe I should have, but I didn't.
Opened other sets on this show before.
That's true. That's right.
But that doesn't mean it's a fantastic album. It is.
Absolutely. 100%. So this record, their 7th studio album. If you guys remember Green Day, just to go back in time a little bit, like 94, 95, I think we go back in there, like 95, 96, like that's kind of stuff. Like there was the Pearl Jam crowd, but there was also the Green Day crowd. There was punk and there was grunge, right?
Yep.
I worked at Music Outlet.
And there was those metalheads just holding on.
And the metalheads. And they were all at Music Outlet at one time. There were no fights, but we sold it all, and we couldn't. When Green Day was one of the bands, we could not keep enough stuff.
From Dookie, you're talking about?
Yeah, Dookie. Yeah, okay. I didn't get it. I was not into it at the time. I was, doing my thing. I was the metal. I was whatever I was, but I was not that.
Okay.
I was grunge. I was Pearl Jam. I was Alice in Chains, but I was not Green Day. I didn't understand it. We sold pins and stickers and shirts and posters and everything for years. And then something happened later on. I finally saw one of their videos of a song that I'd heard for a long time, and maybe it was Basket Cake from, what's the song? Anyway, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And so years later, I became a fan. That's my background. Were you a fan of Dookie and all that other stuff?
You know, the videos would come on MTV and I watch it, and it's fine. I wouldn't say that was what I would put on first. It was more of the metal, kind of a scene. But I did like some of their songs. I did when it got too punky. I wasn't into that scene. So you're right. There's probably, now that I think about it, probably 3 or 4 songs that were like on my Green Day playlist then.
Right.
And they kind of faded into obscurity. And of course, everything changed when this one came out.
Yeah. So fast forward to 2004. This comes out, but the lead up to that is what? They put out an album called Warning?
Yeah, I think it was Warning. It was terrible.
And that came out like in 2000, I think, or so. And that was terrible. That did nothing. That was 2000 Warning. Like they were lost at that time.
Correct.
And then so they started working on another album. I told you about this, right? So they started working on another album, and it was called Cigarettes and Valentines. And they had this. They were doing it was still their punk thing, like Dookie, and they had it all done, and it was all set, and the masters were all ready. They were finishing it up, and then someone stole the masters.
It's crazy,
right? And so basically, out of that, long story short, the producer came to them. They had the backups, but they said the backups didn't sound as good as the masters. They thought about re-recording it, but they thought, no, let's not do that. And the producer said, "Is this your best work?" And they basically had a moment of self-reflection and said no. So they scrapped the whole album. There's a whole Green Day album out there.
It'll come out.
I read a line. They recovered it.
Oh, okay, but they still haven't released it.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, what's the story there? Who stole it, and how'd you get it back? I want to know that, but I don't.
But look at the masters back.
Yeah.
The
master.
I thought you got the original.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So anyway, scrapped it, and out of that came this, And then how did they end up recording this? What was going on?
Well, this
there?
was, from what I understand, Billy Joel kind of went on some sort of like, Manhattan. It's not the same sort of retreat you think of, but he ends up at like a apartment in Manhattan for 2 or 3 weeks, kind of like holds himself in and just starts writing and writing and writing like an artist would. And has papers all over the place, and then starts sharing it with the band members and the producers. Say, I think I got something happening here. And it ends up being more of a concept album around, the themes of 9/11 and the Iraq War and anti-governments, right? So I know he makes it very clear. It's like, we're not anti-American, right? We're anti-war. We're anti some of the things that America's been doing.
Right.
So they're very clear about that. But they ended up going back to L.A. I think to do the recordings. Yeah.
Right. So this record, it was highly anticipated. I mean, even though were coming off of Warning, which was not, I don't know how people was not successful. I don't know how people got wind of something was happening, but they did, and it was an anticipated.
Maybe
release.
there's some lore of the other tapes being stolen or something.
Right.
I'd never heard that before. That's an interesting story. But.
So this is it's not a punk opera. It's a rock. I don't know. What do you call it? You call it a punk rock opera? Rock opera?
Yeah, because it doesn't really have the punky.
It doesn't have it at all.
Yeah.
So it's Jesus of Suburbia is a how do you describe what's happening here?
Like a disillusioned teen looking for some sanity,
yes,
if you
right.
will, what's happening
Absolutely.
in the world, like we all did.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just probably another version of the same type of themes from
Pink Floyd's The Wall and for the Pinball Wizard and like all from Tommy, and it all comes out of strife and all that other stuff.
Right.
So this thing comes out and it's a huge success. The critics love it. It goes to number 1. I think it's their first number 1 record. It's number 1 in 18 countries. You called it their comeback album on the comeback
Frank.
episode with
That's right.
Frank, and you were not wrong. You are right. We don't know how many copies it sold. It's somewhere between 16 and 23 million, depending on where you read it.
That's a lot,
but it's a lot.
But we do know it's 6 times platinum in the States.
Yes, right. We do know that. 5 singles, got nominated for a Grammy Album of the Year, and it won Best Rock Album in 2005. It lost to Ray Charles for Album of the Year. Ray Charles put out a record that was like, where all the stars came out, Bonnie Raitt, everyone, they did songs together, and it won 9 Grammys.
Okay.
I don't remember this record. But
at least it wasn't the Hard Rock Album of the Year. It wasn't a
Jethro Tull situation.
Gotta get it in there.
Still hurting over that one. Still hurting.
Okay.
But anyway, and so it was just a huge success. And we were talking about this, and I want to hear about your experience with the record when it came out. But I'll tell you, mine was that 2004, 2005. There was the new music. First of all, we're parents of infants at this time, right? Yeah, small children. 2004. So that's that. You're not like it's a different life, right? But you're either listening to what you always listen to, but there was new music out there, and we were listening to the Strokes, the Killers, Jack Johnson,
right.
Stuff like that.
Very different stuff starting to enter our lives.
There was no rock and roll. There was no new rock and roll to be heard. Maybe that band Jet. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Jet Lag.
Yeah.
A couple great songs.
There were like some people trying to do that, but like there was no great rock and roll. This record came out, and I played it, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? This is incredible. This is insane. This is rock and roll. I can't believe this. Like, I was just beside myself with how good this record was, and I just played it over and over and over again, and I couldn't believe how good it was. Like, I was like, Green Day is saving rock and roll. Literally. Yeah. That's what I was walking around saying. I'm like, you need to hear this. You need to hear this. You play this. Someone play this. At least play Holiday. Holiday, we'll talk about Holiday in a second, but I was like, this is incredible. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's great to hear you talked about it like that. And we were talking about before, and I said, it sounds like the moment when I first heard Smells Like Teen Spirit from Nirvana. Like, I was like, wow, like this is changing everything. Right. And like in the dearth of a time where there wasn't great rock music, this coming out, it was a great album on its own.
Right.
But to have this come out during that time and that period just made it kind of elevated even more because there's not even nothing to compare it to. It was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome for it to be back almost. Right. It was almost like it was new.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and the way the album kicks in, and whoever's taking a look at this still, like, hopefully they've heard it before.
Yes, right. Yeah.
But like,
if you're out there and you're watching this, first of all, if you're one of if you're one of my 480 subscribers on YouTube and you're watching this and you've never heard Green Day's American Idiot, well, anyway, this is for you.
Right. Welcome.
Welcome. Yes.
But it kicks you in the face with the lead track.
Yes.
And then it just goes on, right? Jesus Suburbia, and then other songs and Holiday, and you're like, you can just sit there and get zoned right into this thing again because it's a concept album.
Yeah.
But it's great music. It's not like you're going, let me go to track 7 and hear that's good, or track 11.
You can't do
you just listen to the whole thing, and you just fall in love with it. I do, just from start
isn't
to
it?
finish.
I mean, the first 4 songs, American Idiot, Jesus Superior, Holiday, and Boulevard of Broken Dreams. That's the first 4 songs right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You're
kidding me with this. Right. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome. So then, those are great songs. I just mentioned them, but Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Wake Me Up Before September Ends, Letter Bomb. I like Letter Bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I think they had a lot of videos, so helpful too, again, that MTV's playing their stuff when they did play music videos.
Yeah, that's right.
We were still watching them in 2005.
Yeah.
But you're getting towards the end of the MTV era for music. And I think that that got more of the radio play and the visual play, and probably kind of kept it going. And it, broke barriers when you think about the punk kids are listening to it, the older generations listen to it because they are from the 80s, right? And then the rock is part of it. It's just
right. Think about it. They were the slackers of punk. Really. They were punk rock slackers. Like they were the poster kids of of that.
Yeah.
With Dookie and all that stuff.
Right.
And then here they are reclaiming rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Absolutely crazy.
Now, you described how when you listen to it, it kicks you in the face. They go on tour.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so we got to tell this story.
Yeah,
right? So we go to see this tour. And again, very young kids. So it's at the Hartford Civic Center. I guess it was called that then.
Yeah.
And then we're a little late, but we're like, we can't be that late. It's a show, like whatever. Late probably because of the kids.
Yeah.
We're walking through the hallways of the Civic Center, and you hear the crowd start kind of getting a little louder. And you're like, I wonder if the show's going to start. And then you just start hearing the guitar lick from American Idiot. I'm like, they are not starting the show with American Idiot. Like, are you kidding me? Next thing you know, we're running down the hallway, running down to our seats, and they play the first 4 songs of the album.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is unbelievable. We're looking at each other like, this is the greatest thing ever. Of course, after the 4 songs were over, I think they did switch.
Yeah, they did.
We got a moment to look around and realize that we were 20 years old and everybody else in the crowd. That's a whole other thing. Right. But it was just such a great, concert, I thought.
Yeah. It's amazing. Absolutely. Right.
And so much fun. They've got the trumpet and the trombone, and they bring in kids up on the stage to play guitar and drums who, may or may not even know how to do it, which was just fantastic in front of 15,000 people. So that was fun.
That was an awesome show. Yeah, and it was great. I mean, like I said, I can't say it enough. It was just so freaking good. So
that's just to go on the shows too. They recorded a live album. I think it's called Bullet in the Bible, which they did from Milton Keynes, if I'm saying that right, in England. Fantastic show. There's a whole video, concert series. You can see it on Freeview or one of these free things too. Besides buying it for a few bucks, but. Great concert, and my son at the time was in 6th or 7th grade, and we would play this in my car going to football practice all the time. So Jesus Suburbia is like one of his favorite songs, which is
and he grew up on the live version too, no less, right?
Absolutely, live sounds great, and there's 60,000 people there, or something like crazy like that. This field, and the fact that he's loving it and playing it live, it's just like, my gosh, these guys are just going cross generations now. So what a fantastic album.
Yeah, and then they end up doing a Broadway show with it.
Right.
Yep. Which was
called American Idiot.
Yeah, right. And and you said it was on the chart for years, right?
Yeah, so that went on for a year and a half, I think, on Broadway.
Yeah.
And then they've done sort of the off-Broadway tour. It came to Hartford. I unfortunately did not see it. I don't know why I didn't see it. But yeah, it just keeps on, the gift that keeps on giving. Right. And then you can talk about this, my friend.
Okay, yes, we're going there. All right, so the counter's not right because we talked for like 6 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, we said 15, so we got like 2 minutes.
Okay, all right. Well, we can do a lot in 2 minutes. So, all right. So you sent me somewhere along the way something that you ripped off the internet back when you could go to prison for that, like that, and taking the thing off the mattress, the sticker off the mattress, and recording VHS tapes illegally.
Federal crimes.
So all federal crimes. But you sent me what?
I sent you a mashup All right, so this DJ and another producer went under the name of Dean Gray, and they redid, I don't know, 6 or 7 songs from the album, mashing up songs from the Doctor Who theme, from Oasis, from
U2.
Okay, some other bands in there. And this was before like some of the mashup stuff you see on the internet now. That's a lot easier with all the software you have out there, right? This is long before that. This was mind blowing, and we hopefully will be able to do some sort of link on it.
It's called Aperican Idiot.
Yeah.
And he seamlessly puts in all the things you just said. So if you check out Boulevard of Broken Dreams, that's got Oasis mixed in the middle.
Yeah. With Oasis lyrics.
Oh yeah, this actual sing. Yeah, that's actual crazy. Sing there. And the Holiday one is the one with Doctor Who on Holiday. Theme. So you've got the Doctor Who theme seamlessly in there, and then it goes to Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll somehow, and it's insane. I mean, we're going to post the links below, but like the Eagles are in there somewhere in the middle.
Yes,
you've
got,
you're right. Peaceful Easy Feeling or something is in there. And anyway, it's insane. It's insanely good, and we're gonna post that below. And if you haven't heard that, you're just gonna
mind blowing.
Yeah,
I mean, this never happened.
Yeah, and I played it recently because of this. And I was like, I can't believe how good this is.
So
still.
Good, right?
Yeah,
it holds up, doesn't it?
Yeah. So someone even made a remix album of it. It was so good. Wow. And so, songs, for me, for Song of the Day, I mean, for me, it's Holiday for me, because the song, that was the song that if I was going to keep playing a song, just one song, it was always that one. The music video is fabulous. The imagery, these dancers that come out that look almost like they're zombies, but they're also dressed in like short shorts, and they do these, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? They do this. Anyway, if you don't know it, you gotta see it, and it's just him with the old school microphone and whatever. But there's the chanting and there's the drum beat. I mean, that is the perfect song. That's the song that I kept going back to being like, this is kick-ass rock and roll, and it rock and roll lives.
They brought it back for you.
They did.
For me, it is the title track, and it's one of the more rock songs, so that's probably part of it, right? It just comes out and kicks you in the face to start with, and I love the lyrics. I love the whole, I mean, again, this concept of an American idiot, don't let the media kind of run you, and it holds up 20 years later when you're looking at what's happening in the media. Right? They didn't know social media then, right?
Yes, right.
So all these kind of themes carry through. So to me, a song that endures for that long, not only for how awesome it sounds, but what it's trying to tell you. For me, that's a really
all right, so you got that. I mean, you really just got to listen to the whole album. If you haven't done that in a long time, listen to the whole thing front to back. And if you can't do that, then at least you're listening to American Idiot, Jesus Server Holiday, and Boulevard Broken Dreams. And When September Ends, which is on side B, I think, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, you just play all those. Just play those ones instead. But this is a great record, and this was fun, and a great opportunity to relive it because amazing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know from you guys too. Did this sort of track with you as a game changer, like for Mark, in terms of rock and roll is back, or in this lull of other good music, or does it continue? I'm sure there's people out there listening to it today, just like us.
Yes, right.
Like, does it kind of hold not just the music, but do the themes and everything kind of hold too? It's great.
My cousin Martha is a huge Green Day fan, and she's seen them many times, and she'll appreciate this episode. She's over in the UK now, so hopefully she sees this.
She'll be the first to see it, by the way, that the time goes.
That's true, because it gets released at midnight for the people in the UK.
She'll
be awake and she'll see it. So
when you and I are the only ones at 12:30 waking up to see it.
Of course, right. That's right.
Anyway, it's fun.
Anyway, those are your songs of the day. You're doing some Green Day on Octane. It's Octane Friday, no less. So that's awesome. We're on day 5 of the 7-day challenge.
God bless you.
How about
buddy.
that?
Nice
Ooh, I'm tired. Give me that cane. But I think we're gonna be able to get to 7 and 7. So hopefully, as I say, so. You can take it out with me?
Of course.
All right. So whatever you're doing today, people, thanks for being here today. And as usual, catch you on the flip side. Sabotage.
Ice cold one,
right?
They're from Shut up. Really? I mean, I have no idea. I believe you if that's what you're telling me.
I think there's a connection between the Trans-Siberian Orchestra and the metal band Sabotage. Hold on. I could be. I don't know if I'm on. I think I'm right.
You think you're right?
I think I'm right.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet against you. So I got a new skin cream. Super moist.
Don't use that word
I know.
anywhere.
I know. It's a terrible word. Why is that a terrible word, by the way? Like what? It's just moist. Right. I agree with you, but it's kind of funny.
I used to hate the word crinkle. That bothered me in high school.
Like
That's
the
all
sound of
crinkled?
Moist like this. Like your eye is seriously twitching right now from saying crinkle.
Yeah, I don't. It's crinkle. I'm telling you.
Red and pink.
Right.
Whatever.
All right. You're right.
It's so bright.
Is your indigestion gone? You gonna be able to do this?
Yes. me. Sibilance.
What's
this thing say?
Moist. So wrong. You have -5 views. Your video has no views.
Please take this.
Your video
off
has
of the
been
platform.
reported. Has been reported. Right. Has been reported. All right. You got this?
Yeah. So what we're shooting for under 15. Right? I mean, under 10's never gonna happen.
Never.
Not on this one.
You're not. Or you're right. We're ready with one take. 15 minutes.
I don't know why. All right. Got it. I don't even know what take this is. We're doing this 20 years from now. We're wheeling ourselves up.
I'm here to talk about Cinderella.
Remember that show we went to?
All right, God.
All right.
All right.
Get the willies out. All right. I just got, you get.
Center yourself. Kupala.
What's 15 plus 7? 22. All right.